live. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Tired.
Why are you so tired?
I don't know. I woke up really early this morning. Even though we had like coffee before we left, coffee at pancake breakfast, and then coffee at second pancake breakfast.
Okay.
I'm so tired all the time. I don't know.
We're going to talk about double pancake breakfast first.
Double pancakes.
First we went to, well, we can't really say names on this, huh? First we went to that pancake breakfast where I grew up. I want to start here with, I had a lot of anxiety this morning about going to my high school. I have not been in this building ever because I did not graduate there. Oh, sorry. I was at the old high school before my little career ended, and I decided that school was not for me. I think I decided that when I was like 8 years old, let's be honest. But yeah, the year before I would have graduated, they opened a new school, so I did not go to the new school. I went to the old school. So I have not been to the new school. It turns out that this will be 16 years since I graduated, well, since I got my good enough degree, as they say. So I've not been in this building. Why did I have anxiety? I'll tell you, thanks for asking. I didn't have the best experience in my little neighborhood growing up. Fully my fault, I suppose. Didn't grow up without. Always had things, food, roof, clothes. I even got to do things that my brothers and sisters did not get to do because they were so much older, like ski club, It was a little easier for me to do sports and stuff like that. But for all intensive purposes, nope. For all intents
Yes.
and purposes,
Correct.
I grew up poor in a rich neighborhood. So I wasn't able to do some of the things that my cohorts were able to do. I think the year that I got my driver's license was the year that the H2 Hummer came out, or thereof. So there was 16-year-olds with brand new Hummers, in the parking lot. There was a bright pink BMW some girl got. Good for them, their parents were crushing it. As a kid though, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
So I always felt a little outcast. Plus I was a skateboarder and I was into music in a way that my cohorts were not. Some of them, obviously, I had friends growing up. But like I listened to the things that my older brothers and sisters were listening to, which, old school hip hop, as an example, was not cool. I was listening to alt rock and indie rock and things that were not on whatever the popular music station is. Literal pop music stations were. So, riding a skateboard, I was kind of like not cool at all. And, I wasn't the best student. I got into some altercations growing up more than once. I got maybe kicked out of school for that. Had to go to Cardinal for a year. Oops, I said a name. Who cares? And then I was able to go back to my original high school after that. And that shortly after that is when my school career ended. As far as that goes, I just wasn't into it. I wanted to work and ride my skateboard and do things that I wasn't able to do at school. So I had a lot of anxiety going back today, thinking I was going to get spotted, somebody was going to see me. Hey, Scott, where you been for the last 16 years? None of that. So that was cool. Didn't see anybody I recognized, not one person. And I like that. I like to be obscure, which is weird because I married the town social butterfly. But yeah, so that was the first breakfast. Second breakfast at your school.
Yep.
And I can't do pancakes twice in a row. You did though, so high five for that.
Well, to be fair, the first time
Congrats.
I did French toast. I had French toast at yours.
Okay.
And then I had pancakes at ours.
Okay.
Double sausage.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. It's my favorite pancake breakfast of the 5 that are in town.
Yeah.
In our small little circle of Burton.
Yeah.
I've gone to all of them and have decided which one's the best.
Yeah.
I like the one that we go to because it's all student athletes that work it, and so all the money, it's for the boosters, so all the money, the athletic boosters, so all the money goes to athletics.
Yeah.
And all the athletes take turns every Sunday working in shifts. So my one niece was there this morning, which we didn't see her, but we saw, my nephew.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I enjoy it, and my district that I work in. So and I want to support that too. And they have a craft show.
Show?
That's always my favorite thing to do. Yes. I feel like that's going to work.
So we've been having problems finding me a wedding ring.
Yeah.
I tried rubber, latex, tungsten, everything just rips my finger, rips it to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So much so, you can't see, but I have like this scar of skin that's been healing because I've been wearing nothing for a while. Mm-hmm. So this one is stainless steel.
So try one more avenue before we get a tattoo.
Yeah, one more before I just get a little R or something tattooed on my finger. We're going to try it stainless steel and see if this works.
That guy sounded very promising. Nice old veteran guy who's sweet.
He seemed cool. So
we'll
see if this one sticks. If not, it's on to the permanent ink. Mm-hmm. Because I have other ones, obviously. Who cares at this point? You're also tired because of school.
Yeah, man, I'm so tired.
I believe they call this teacher burnout.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me about that, please.
Oh, it's just a lot. People think like, oh, you're a teacher, you get summers off. Like, no, we don't. We get summers to recover. And most of us are learning or going to conferences or working on new curriculum and everything during that time anyways.
Or second jobs.
Because that's necessary to survive.
Which you've always done, except for last summer. You worked with me, so you're still working.
Right. This will be the first summer where I'm not working.
Yeah.
Like I am going to be home.
Which I'm excited for.
I'm very excited. But
Wait, sorry. This is the first time in your teaching career that you will not have to have a summer job?
In my life.
Yeah.
That I haven't had it. Yeah. But also even as a full-time educator. Yeah, this is the first time that I will not have to be working during the summer and I can actually just reset. So
what is it about this time of year that spring break's coming up next week?
Well, so when you start, especially for us, we have like a small little fall break, fair break. So we have like that little time after the first 10 days of school. Like the first 10 days of school are probably the hardest because everybody's coming back. It's a whole new group of kids. Everything is new and fresh and you're trying to like make sure you get all of your routines set and rules and expectations and everything like set right in the first 10 days. It's just a lot of energy, brain energy. And so that fair break is very much needed and helpful. And then there's days off, I feel like in the fall, like here and there. There's this day off or this day off. And then in the winter you have like snow days. And then this winter we only had, I think 7 school days off for winter break.
Yeah.
Which was drastically different from the year before because we were supposed to move buildings midway through the year. So we had like a full 3 weeks. So like even just those 7 days, I remember, and I'm not the only one because I came back and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. So like I'm really having a hard time adjusting. And a lot of people were like, yeah, that just felt like really, really short. And then, so now we're going into spring break, but the distance from Christmas break to spring break doesn't really seem like it's very long, but like we go back the very first week of January and then we wait all the way till the end of March, and usually between then we have like 2 to 3, sometimes 4 random snow days. We've had 1.
Yeah, we didn't have any snow day. I mean, the one snow day, but usually there's a few.
And then there's like 1 day off in January, 1 day off in February, and then we had a teacher in-service day. So it's not like I'm like, oh my goodness, like my job's so hard, give me a day off. Like that's not, but I need a mental break. And like teachers are like one of the only professions where we end our day on Friday and we spend our whole weekend prepping and getting ready for the next week to teach other people's children.
So how many kids are in your classes?
I have a class of 25, 21, 25, 23.
Yeah. So.
And then my advisory period's 21.
Yeah.
So.
So you have a grand total of how many kids?
95 kids.
95 kids a day.
A day. Yeah. I mean, if everyone's at school, yeah.
So teacher burnout is a thing.
It's a real life thing, yeah.
Yeah, you got to deal with 95 children a day.
And again,
complaining.
Never complaining.
No.
I'm obsessed with my job.
Yeah.
I love my job. I worked very hard to get to this job. I love everything about it. I love my boss. I love everything. The kids in this grade are just so wonderful. I love them so much.
Like this year's kids?
This year's kids are just like such a gift. And I mean that like with all of the sincerity in my heart. They are such good kids. Like they're kind, they're polite, they're helpful. And it might be, it might be the new building and it kind of freaks everybody out. So they're being on their best behavior to make sure that, or fifth grade or middle school now. And like, that's always scary too. And they want their teacher to like them. And, fifth grade's usually pretty simple. I mean, last year's kids were great too. They were fantastic. I loved last year's kids. But this year, there's something about these kids that are they're just so great. And the parents are great.
Yeah.
Like, I've had such wonderful things said to me by today at a pancake breakfast. Someone came up, oh, there's our favorite teacher. And I was just like, what? Like, I've never, like, kids tell me, oh, you're my favorite, and then it's like, okay, well, next year, then you have a favorite. And then the year after that, And I had a parent tell me, you will forever be their favorite teacher. I'm not doing it to be somebody's favorite teacher. That's not why I teach. I don't teach because I need the recognition. I teach because I love it. Mm-hmm. I love the kids, and I will do anything to make sure that they're safe. But
there's been, this past few weeks, there's been like science fair, little school dance thing. There's been,
that was fun.
Yeah, there's been like a bunch of stuff. I don't get to talk to the parents. I don't work there.
Right.
Right? And I only know about the kids that you teach when there's something to know about the kids that you teach, right? And I can't put faces to these kids. I don't know them. I definitely don't know their parents unless it's someone
that we know, like
extended family or friend, which is
it's
almost
always
everyone, at this point. But I've been going to things with you this school year in a way that I haven't been able to before, or I guess this second half of the school year, in a way that I haven't been able to. And you do get a lot of positive feedback, and the kids do like you. You walk into a room and it's like, this is us.
I know, I feel like a celebrity sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when we walked into Fun Fest.
Yeah, this was the dance.
And they were like just screaming because I told them all I wasn't coming because I had no desire to go.
Yeah, you're welcome for that.
You wanted to go.
I know, I wanted to go and check it out.
I did not.
I get excited.
I was like, it is Friday. I'm done.
Yeah, this is cool. Like
3 o'clock, I'm out.
No, we're trying to have children. There's a boatload of nieces and nephews on my side. Boatload of nieces and nephews on your side. The thing with my side is that they're all close to my age. Yeah. Except for 4 of them now.
Yeah, 4.
There's 4. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them that are under the age of 13. So I'm actually like kind of able to be a little bit I'm like learning how to be an uncle for real. Whereas, again, my siblings are so much older than me that their kids are close to my own age.
Yeah, like whereas on my side,
they're
our
younger.
Oldest is 18. And then everybody's
lower on your side.
It's 18, 5 years old to 18 years old.
Right. So I'm like, I don't have any. How do I say this? I like being around kids. They're fun. Kids are authentic. They're learning how to be, and they're coming into their own and whatever. But I like children. It's refreshing. They are what they are, and that is all that they are. Whereas when you become an adult, things kind of get complicated, and then you can be one way in this situation, and you could be one way in another situation. But kids are just usually themselves wherever they go, and I like that. So this half of the school year, I'm able to kind of go and get involved a little bit. I don't do anything. I just hang out, and I'm the arm candy for you. But it's cool though. It's cool to like do this stuff and see these kids. And at a certain point, I've been talking about trying to weasel my way into like coaching or something.
Yeah.
You know, specifically soccer. That's it. You know, maybe I'll get to do that down the line and whatever. But I'm kind of living vicariously through you and through those parents, the ones that we know. You know.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to like go and do this stuff, and the whole point is that they like you, and that's cool. I think I mean, I haven't been in all the classrooms, but you have a very calm situation, you know. And I know for me, when I was a kid, if I would have had, I had a couple of teachers like you. You don't teach me, but you know, I had a couple of teachers that I latched onto that I liked, that took care of me in a way that I probably needed more. And if they would have had rooms the way that your room is set up, it would have been that much more positive for me for someone like me to, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
My room
So
is very calm.
This whole thing has been cool. But yeah, teacher burnout. It's real.
It's real. It's real. And it's not like, and everybody doesn't get it at the same time, and everybody doesn't feel the same way. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And when I say I'm exhausted and tired, those are two completely different things. Like, my body is physically tired. I didn't sleep great last night. But my body is physically, when I say I'm exhausted, my brain is mentally exhausted. Especially by Friday, because the amount of questions I'm asked, the amount of, like, I'm on high alert the entire day, making sure that the kids are safe. Whether that be from intruders or in a certain situation or an activity that we're doing. Like, that's my number one frame of mind, is that my kids are safe. And then very right underneath that is making sure that they're learning positive character traits and being able to cope with their emotional growth as well.
I want to talk about this.
Social emotional learning.
I'm gonna start that over. I've got really bad AD today. I'm sorry.
Just funny because you had a lot of coffee today. That usually mellows you out.
Well, maybe I had too much. So try to keep me on task if you need to, or whatever.
Circle back.
Okay, I try my best not to do the death scroll on the social media. And I've been trying to be on even less lately. Obviously, I've been working. So I've been busy, so I haven't, had the time. But I try to have like 10-minute block here, maybe another one later or whatever. Something came up this week in the death scroll where I saw I don't know where this was. The lady had I would say like a northern accent. It wasn't a southern accent. It wasn't East Coast. It wasn't West Coast.
Might have been like Midwest.
Yeah, she had she sounded normal.
Yeah.
Again, when I say normal, I mean normal to me and you and where we live. Yeah, that's relative. So I don't know where this was. Anywhere. It could have been anywhere from, I guess, Idaho to,
Who knows?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
The point is, this lady was talking. She's being interviewed by someone. This was obviously a parent in a district, and she was protesting against social emotional learning. She said in this video that it was a gateway to all of the LGBTQ stuff.
The gateway to what they're trying to push in schools right now. I don't even remember what it's called.
Oh.
My brain is so bad.
Oh, yeah, it was a gateway to that, and it was also a gateway to, I believe her words were gateway drug to that and to the critical race theory thing.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay, now I'm on the outside of teaching, and I really want you to talk to me about both of these things. First of all, what is social emotional learning?
So social emotional learning is where, first of all, when you reach middle school, you're going through so much change already in your body, whether it be like the way it looks or your tone for boys, like their voice changes, or some people shoot up, they're super tall, you're going through puberty, all of those changes, and on top of all those changes, you're starting to like feel different emotions. And so in social emotional learning starts really young. It's, why are you crying?
Wait.
Well, I don't know why I'm crying. And so it's social emotional learning is learning how to deal with your emotions. in a positive, conducive way.
Okay, I don't remember ever hearing this stuff when I was in school.
Right.
Ever hearing anything like this, and never hearing those two words together, social emotional. So you're learning how to deal with your feelings.
Yeah, pretty
basically.
much. It's anxiety, depression. They're like it's like an epidemic in the United States.
But it's
to have
not
anxiety and depression. So what this social emotional learning is like, hey, you feel this way. It's okay to feel this way. And how are some ways we can deal with it? What are some ways that we can cope with our anxiety? How can I help? Like, and it's not, you're not diagnosing kids with anxiety. You're not saying, oh, you're anxious. Well, let's do this. Like, no, I'm not a doctor. But we're going to learn how to recognize that I'm feeling some type of way and figure out how to deal with it in an appropriate manner. And also recognize when somebody else is feeling something. Maybe they had a bad morning. Like, sometimes these kids come in and they're just angry for no reason. Well, why are you mad at me? I didn't do anything. That doesn't help the kid. They're angry because they just got screamed at in the car for something their little brother did. And now they're just kicked out the door and have to come to school and deal with all of this other stuff. So it's taking the time to be like, hey, you okay today? Yeah. Like, I had a girl that, well, my brother got mad at me because I had the Infertility. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
as an example.
As an example,
Gotcha.
They, got yelled at for something X, Y, or Z. And, I had a teacher call me down to study hall and was like, we just started the new quarter, so I don't know these kids yet. That she's crying. Can you come help me? And I was like, sure. So I went down there, and one of my faves, love this little girl. She's so cute. Mm-hmm. And she was just really upset. She had a really rough morning, and it was the first day of the quarter, and she was feeling stressed out. Mm-hmm. But she didn't know she was feeling stressed out. Mm-hmm. She didn't know that was the feeling she was feeling, because she's probably never felt it before. And so it's like, well, okay, so now we're going to deal with that. So this is a good way when I'm feeling stressed. Sometimes I like to make a list about things, or we can do this, or this, or this, and trying to give them a tool. So when they're done with 5th grade year, they have a toolbox of things that they can use going forward when these emotions arise again.
Okay, you are not a guidance counselor.
Correct.
You are not a psychologist.
Correct.
Or a psychiatrist.
Correct.
But you teach this stuff.
Yes.
Like, you teach it during reading and language arts, or do you have is this a class?
No.
I'm confused.
I just teach it when the opportunity arises. They're called teachable moments.
Ah, yes.
So
teachable moment. I know that one.
That's what that's what I do.
Is this part of your curriculum?
No.
Are you, for lack of a better term, doing this to go above and beyond? Like, are you helping?
No, I'm doing it because the kids need this. It's a necessity. They need to learn how to do this. I wish somebody would have done this for me when I was in school.
I'm agreeing with you. Yes, I wish
I knew how to deal with my anxiety and depression when I was 16, even, because I went through a lot of crap in high school. Looking back, and if I knew now what I knew then, or if I knew then what I knew now, it would have been an entirely different ballgame.
Yeah.
But nobody gave me those tools because anxiety and depression in kids was not a thing. ADHD and ADD was a thing. Those were the things.
I think some of those other things were there, just not on the scale that they are now.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't prevalent.
Yeah, because I can remember being a kid and little, under the age of 10, and having some of these things, anxiety, depression, knowing, not necessarily knowing that that's what these things were.
That's what I'm saying.
But feeling these kinds of feelings.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. These kids are feeling these emotions, and I remember all too well.
All right, so to be clear, social-emotional learning has nothing to do with critical race theory.
Oh my gosh, I was shocked when you showed me that video. I was like, what?
All right.
How does that even...
Okay, cool.
Those run in two completely different circles of a Venn diagram. These are where they run.
Yeah,
they do not do this.
They don't cross. Okay, what is... I hate to be... This is gonna be a show, an episode. What is critical race theory? Look, this is my understanding of it is that I don't teach, that teachers or certain courses or classes or whatever are just kind of trying to teach that some of the things that we did in the past were not okay, and we're going to try to not do that stuff moving forward. Things like slavery, it's not okay.
Right.
But, it wasn't okay back then, However, those were the times, right? I do have a stance on some of this stuff in that you can't cancel people from the past. They didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Make sense? Now nowadays, again, cancel culture isn't the way to deal with things. I don't think. You should give people a chance to learn and grow. Maybe. Obviously, some things are horrendous.
Right.
Yeah. We're trying to be logical in this conversation. Does critical race, is that a thing? Critical race theory in 5th grade?
No.
How old do you think?
Well, here's the thing. That's the problem with critical race theory.
Here's
in schools.
my ADD is acting up. What is it, first of all?
It's
simple.
It is creating a culture in the classroom that is accepting of anything and everything. That's the simplest way I can put it.
Okay, so it's not technically attacking, like I'm reading this stuff in the news, like we're attacking white people for things that happened 200 years ago now, or as an example, maybe that's a bad example. We might be getting all kinds of racy here right now. I'm sorry, that's not what this show is about.
This is making me uncomfortable.
I'm sorry. But 5th grade, you don't talk about critical race theory.
I mean, I teach English and language arts, so no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't do any of that. We do novel studies, so we don't have a curriculum right now in English and language arts. So it's just what we do as the teachers.
Yeah.
And whatever we decide to study
All
to get our standards met.
Okay. So
no.
Not a thing. All right, cool.
At least where I'm at.
Yeah.
That could be totally different somewhere else.
In other districts
right.
or other places.
Other places, yeah, I have no idea, but.
All right, cool. So, okay. All right, cool. I was just curious about that. I've been.
But that's why that video was so shocking, because she was so mad that teachers were teaching about empathy. Like they were reading books and teaching kids about empathy, to have empathy for others. And she was mad because one of the books that the teacher used was talking about how the kid in the book had 2 moms, and it was teaching them to be empathetic towards what that child might be going through because they were different, had different raising than the other one. And she was mad because her kid came home and was like, why would somebody have 2 moms and not a dad? And it was like a whole thing. And she honestly, I think she was too scared to have the conversation with her kid about what that is. And everybody parents differently, obviously, and some people learn from 2 days old that it's okay to have 2 moms or 2 dads, or extended family, things like that. And other people might wait. It depends on your parenting style. You might not want to introduce that to your kid yet, but it is in schools to teach about empathy. Now, social emotional learning and teaching about any type of character trait all depends on who the teacher is. There's no set curriculum says you need to read this book. The teacher chose that book. So then, yeah, that might be an issue between you and the teacher that you need to talk about and discuss, like, hey, I'm not ready to let my 1st grader understand what that is. We're not ready to have that conversation. Okay, well, then something that she and the school need to figure out. But, like, we have character class once a month. I nix my plans once a month, and we teach a different character trait once a month. And I often use books to teach that. And we do a self-reflection quiz. Like March was trustworthiness. Okay. We discussed what we look for in a friend and why trustworthiness is important. And then we also discussed, are you trustworthy? Are you a good friend? Because a lot of times we talk about what we're looking for in other people, and we're not talking about what we are as a person as well. So we do that once a month.
All right, cool. Thanks for helping me learn. So you're for social-emotional.
100%.
Yeah. I think, again, we don't have children yet. We're working on it. So I can't comment on being a parent. But I can comment on me being a kid, because I was a kid once. And one of the things that I try to do as an adult is remember what it felt like as a kid, so that when I come across kids, nieces, nephews, doesn't matter, I try to relate because I remember being a kid and wanting to have a conversation with the adults, like wanting to be in the conversation with the adults. I wanted to be part of wherever I was at, you know, mostly for my childhood, it was Bible study, you know, stuff for church, or youth, you know, we're doing parties with those family, you know, there was a group of friends, and I would go to all these houses with all these adults, and I just wanted to be a part of that. And back then, like, for me, you know, generally speaking, I wasn't allowed to be a part of that. I just wanted to be a part of that. So now as an adult, when I come across kids, I try to include them in any way that I can, obviously appropriately, you know, to the best of my abilities. What?
But sometimes you just have to talk to them like they're small adults. Like, they just want to be recognized that they're human. They're not babies.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna scream at you because you stole something out of somebody's locker. No, but I want to have a conversation with you and see what was going through your head when you decided to do that. Like, what made you do that? What were you feeling?
So it's a teachable moment.
Always. They're always teachable moments, and that's social emotional learning.
Okay. So some of the things I think I've been reading aren't really taking some of this stuff into account, what it really is. Like I've been just reading about how, you know, I try to read, when I read the news or current events and stuff, I try to read multiple sides of each story. So you and I being in opposites attract situation, you're a little bit more conservative. I'm a little bit more, I guess the word is progressive, because I don't identify really as a liberal per se. I'm not, it's a whole thing. Maybe we can get into that, but right now it doesn't matter. We're kind of opposites attract when it comes to that. You know, you're very traditional, and I'm a little bit more progressive. And I've been reading things about social emotional learning. I've been reading things about critical race theory. These are very popular words right now.
And there is a whole, don't get me wrong, there's a whole social emotional, I mean, they have classes of it, some schools do, there's a curriculum for it, there is an actual social emotional class that can be taken or given at certain places. We don't have one. I wish that we did. We have one in elementary school. We have a social emotional teacher. She at our old school, she taught it with gym. It was like half of it was gym class, the other half was social emotional learning. And so that's what she did. So now she's in the elementary school and she does some social emotional with them. I wish so bad we had one. I would love to have one in the middle school. But the way I teach it and look at it is trying to have kids understand their emotions. So I use a lot of teachable moments for that. And then we use sources of strength too. She talks about our regulation station, regulating our emotions, how to make our big emotions small, what we look like.
A lot. I guess what I'm trying to say is I've been reading headlines, and then, you know, I don't just read the headlines. I actually do my homework as far as this stuff goes, and I try to read both sides of the story to find the truth, which is usually somewhere in the middle. And a lot of these things are being blown out of proportion right now in certain places in our country and whatever. And I'm just trying to understand what these things are, because you actually are a teacher. You do teach some of this stuff, so thanks. Thanks for educating me.
It's what I do.
I suppose.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I'm real tired. I really need to go on spring break.
One more week, and then
feel
spring
it.
break.
Just feel it.
Tomorrow's the first day of spring, and there is 1.5 foot of snow outside right now from the last 24 hours.
24 hours.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy.
It is March the 19th at the time of this taping in the year of our Lord 2023. This is ridiculous. You know, when we were little, there was snow like this all the time, and now it seems, you know, the snow is barely the way it used to be here in our little lovely piece of Northeast Ohio. And these last minute snowstorms are just, I'm so over it, especially now that I'm doing tree work and I'm outside all day. My boots have been constantly wet for the last 2 weeks because it's been hot, cold, so
snap.
So I've been in the mud constantly. Is it frozen mud or is it wet? You know, but it's, even when it's frozen, you step down into it and when it's wet just below the surface. Luckily I got some new boots this last week, so I'm excited. Hopefully my feet stay dry. But yeah, I'm just sick of this weather. I just want the sun to come out. Is that too much to ask?
It looks like it's coming out right now.
I don't care. There's a foot and a half of snow out there.
Good job. You probably should have said that earlier. Would have been nice.
By the way, if you see me looking, I'm looking out the window.
Yeah.
That way. There's a window in my little office here. Okay. Speaking of work, I guess, for me, 2 thumbs up. It's going good.
Good.
I'm moving, getting like close to 15,000 steps a day.
Nice.
Which I don't know if that's a lot or not, but I feel better. I've been losing a little bit of weight, even though you can't tell. Just kidding. Yeah, but for real, I'm losing a little bit of weight. I'm eating better. I'm moving. I feel better moving.
Good.
Your
knee pain's gone?
Yeah. Yes. So for the last, 4 or 5 months, I've been alternating left knee, right knee on a knee brace, because it depends on what the day is, which one hurts.
Mm-hmm.
My knees are, knock on wood, the only injury I've never had in my life. I've never, fallen on my knee, scraped my knee, whatever, but I haven't blown my knees out or ripped the tendons, and it's the only joint, and literally the only 2 joints in my body that I haven't damaged from, my life of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been kind of counting off the days.
Yeah.
For the last 4 or 5 years of when is my knee,
which knee, knees gonna go,
which knee
one's
is
going
it,
first,
and when is it gonna happen? So I've now been, it's 2 full weeks of trees, coming up on week 3 here. So I'm out there every day, busting my butt, getting sweaty, working, and my knee pain is completely gone. All I needed to do was move.
Yep.
I guess. I really thought I was getting ready to tear something or blow a knee out, because it felt like that. Maybe I've started to lose the extra weight from,
probably
a year of eating my own cooking.
Probably a little bit of both.
Or whatever, but yeah, this is cool, man. Science. Things hurt, fight through the pain.
Yep. Keep moving.
Within reason.
Right.
Don't kill yourself. But yeah, keep it moving. And I'm pretty psyched about that.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it until you just said it. How did you pick up on that?
Because your knee brace has been hanging on that door for weeks now.
I can reach it. There it is. It served me well. And I haven't needed it I was wearing it the first week. Second week, this past week, I didn't wear it once. I didn't even realize I didn't wear it.
Love it.
Done with that.
Here for it.
Knock on wood again. Twice. Third time's a charm, because I have OCD. So yeah,
this
cool.
would have been better wood. This stuff's fake.
That is fake. This is real. Yeah, so we're going to Florida. So next episode will be sunshine and in the warm weather. And this will be the last episode with these. We're making the change to the microphone, the wireless microphone, and it will sound much better, I hope. We're going to find out soon.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Florida. You're excited for Florida. There's really nothing else on the agenda today. Let's give an update real quick towards the end of this for baby making.
I have my PCP appointment on Thursday to get an MMR shot because apparently.
What's PCP stand for?
Primary care.
Oh.
Just like a physical. MMR shot with that, which is a bummer because you know how I love shots. Then when we get back from Florida, the week we get back from Florida, like Monday you have your semen analysis, and then Wednesday you have your doctor's appointment with the fertility specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And then
moving right along.
After that, we just wait till May.
And May
8th is when we go to see my fertility specialist.
Yeah, and then she's going to say...
She'll have everything compiled and ready to go. And
all the data, and she's going to say, this is what we're doing, and when. Okay.
Yep.
So we're done with Clomid?
I have one more round of Clomid, but because I have to get an MMR shot on Thursday, she doesn't want me to take the Clomid next month. She's supposed to wait a month to get pregnant after you take the Clomid, or after you do the MMR shot. So she wants me to wait.
Okay, so we
So
will have maybe.
We'll have one, but
we'll be
on
seeing
hand, but
her,
yeah.
so we might not do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
You've been more composed lately on this topic throughout your everyday life, in my humble opinion. Has there been a change? You're very antsy.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I've noticed that you seem to be doing better. You were very emotional for a while, obviously, because this has been a rough ride of 2 years plus now of trying and failing to procreate. The last couple weeks you seem to be, in general, doing a little bit better. Why?
I don't know.
Is it because
I think it's because we have all these plans and steps in place. And I think it's like, okay, we are moving forward with this. And
instead of just swimming in the dark, or not swimming.
Right.
Hey,
yeah. 2
puns. We had one last week about this, and now we have a second one. I gotta start working on my dad jokes, I suppose. All right. Yeah, we got plans in place. Things are moving, and instead of just kind of like wondering, why isn't this working?
We actually have like a process, steps in place to.
You are a list person. We talked about the list earlier.
I'm a big list person.
And we're knocking things off a list. We have a list, first of all.
I get very overwhelmed when there's a lot to do and I don't have it written down.
Yeah.
Like when she first emailed me and there was like boom, 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 like all of these things I needed to do, it was very overwhelming. But once I get everything scheduled and ready to go, then it's totally different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Just wanted to let you know I've been seeing a different you for the last couple of weeks. You seem to be doing better.
Well, my book helped a lot with that.
What book?
The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F.
Was it a good book?
Yeah. Helped me a lot at work. Focus what I need to give my energy to and what's a waste of my energy.
You've been reading a lot.
Well, yeah, that's how I work out.
What?
I listen to books while I work out.
Oh, in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I knew that, but that's why you're working out. That's why you're reading more. Lately?
Yeah, and I pick books that I want to read because I told myself I'm not allowed to listen to the book unless I'm working out. So if I want to read the book, I have to work out in order to listen to it.
Oh.
So I always pick a very good book.
That's a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've been reading a lot. Is it just because of the working out?
I mean, yeah, I started it back in like November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot too.
Yeah.
This is cool. I've been reading for like the last couple weeks because it's really hard to get through. Not hard to read, just it was written thousands of years ago. I've been reading the Marcus Aurelius book. I forget what it's called right now because I'm on the spot, but it's the Stoicism thing, the old school philosophers. I've liked philosophy since I was a kid. Did we talk about this last time?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay, so I've been reading philosophy since I was a child, 11, 12 years old. Just kind of, there's so much history to our world, to our planet here. So many cultures and so many different ways of life over the last, thousands and thousands of years.
Right.
And I'm just really into, taking a little bit of everything into account, just try to be, well-rounded, but that's not really why I do it. It's more to have help me have an open mind when I go throughout my day. I have a tendency to I can be quick to judge. Not outwardly, I try not to be rude to the best of my ability, what I can do, but so I read a lot of this stuff, philosophy and whatever. So right now, the topic for the book before this and this book, and I got one coming up, it's been the Stoicism thing. The object is the way, meaning the only way out is through, and I've been saying that, I say that a lot, the only way out is through.
Yeah.
Don't put it off, just do it. Or don't think about it too much, just go for it. Or, no plans, go to plan.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point you gotta stop planning and start doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also trying to find peace with this clocking in and clocking out thing
Yeah.
that I'm doing right now for work. I'm not used to that. I don't like to do that.
Yeah, but I think you'll enjoy it.
Well,
I think a lot of that is gonna change the second I get pregnant in your brain. I think it'll just be like, whoop, it'll click and be like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it.
well, maybe that's what I'm trying to enjoy this right now, like trees, trying to enjoy it, and just trying to come to peace with terms, come to
peace with the fact,
thanks.
or come to terms with the fact. Not both.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to do that, and try to figure myself out. You can't be the same always. You have to constantly evolve, I think, and find progression. And since I just had this, gigantic failure with the restaurant downtown, trying to find some purpose, So I'm digging back into the books and the Stoicism thing, which is just kind of like similar. Honestly, a lot of it. I bet you if I read that book, The Art of Not Giving an F, I bet you it's a lot of that stuff is kind of what I'm actually reading right now, which is just kind of like, you cannot control other people. You can only control yourself.
Yeah, one of the main themes in the book is, it doesn't matter how other people perceive you. Everybody's going to perceive you differently. How your mother perceives you is going to be completely different than how your enemy perceives you, even though you are the same being. The only person that perceives you correctly is yourself, and that's the only person that should matter.
Yeah.
So, like, not letting other people, how they think of you, which is what I deal with on the daily, affect what I'm doing. That shouldn't affect what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah, Meditations is the book I'm reading right now. I just remembered. Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. Yeah. I bet you that it's
probably very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't control anybody but yourself, and your outlook is wholly your outlook. Is the cup half empty or half full, or is it just a cup? It's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
You try to look for the positive, but also you just kind of have to be grounded and real in the fact that there is no cup.
Yeah.
Like, is the cup half empty or half full? Are you pessimistic or optimistic, or why even bother with any of that and just be?
Yeah.
It's just kind of what I'm trying to just find peace and just be in what I'm doing right now. And I like to have projects and stuff, and and keep myself busy, and doing the trees has really been freeing my mind up for when I'm home. I'm a little bit more present.
Yeah.
So far, and I think that's going to continue. And soon I'll be in the groove, and I'll actually be able to do the things that I'm wanting to do, like build furniture again. I'm interested. Why am I interested in that again? Because I have access to wood. I can get like big slabs if I want, or whatever. It's just an example. Yeah, I'm really full circle. Take it back. I think this reading and working out has been good for you.
That's good for my headspace.
And I'm working on doing the same thing right now. Instead of working out, I'm working, but I'm sweating.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're working out.
Yeah.
You're just doing it for 12 hours. Or 8 hours.
8 hours, yeah. No, it's not that long of a day, which is why I signed up to do this. So things are good. We're on the up and up right now. Yeah. I'm glad to see you this way, because you're killing me there for a while. You're not killing me like wearing off at me, killing me like I was dying a little bit watching you go through this. I'm also going through it, we're just dealing with it in a different way.
I wear everything on my sleeve.
Yeah.
Except for when I'm around the kids, I have to fake it.
Well, of course. You can't bring the students down.
But I have so many parents that are friends or that watch this that like knew I was going through Clomid, and they would like, my one really, really, really good friend asked her daughter once, so how's Mrs. Hess in class? And the kid didn't notice a difference at all. So I was
Good job.
I was very happy about that.
Good job.
She made it a point to text me and be like, hey, I know it's a lot right now, but I just want you to know so-and-so hasn't noticed a difference in class. You know, you're doing great at school. Like, 'cause, I mean, there's been times where I've had to, like, check out. Where sometimes some wave of emotion would come through me and I would look at my co-teacher and be like, I need to go take a walk for a minute. Whether it would be like I was angry or I was upset or something, and I would just excuse myself from the classroom. But luckily I had my co-teacher, you know, to take over. So she was very understanding with all of it too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
Yeah. Looking
It's
good.
a roller coaster.
Yeah, but you've been looking good. You've been looking better.
Thanks.
Nothing to do with looks. You're beautiful, you know that. All right, we good?
Yeah.
Anything else? You sure? Next one's going to be a much different setting.
Oh, heck yeah.
Can't wait.
I'm going to have sunglasses on. I might even have a drink in my hand.
We might be in bikinis. Well, you are in a bikini.
I don't think I would do that at all. But I might have a cocktail in my hand.
All right. Love ya.
Love ya. Oh, I have to pee so bad. That's why I was shaking.